Good morning, my dear students. Hope you all were enjoying your vacation. Wishing you all a very happy and prosperous New Year 2021. Anyhow, now the vacation is over, so let us move on. Let us begin a new session in English. In this first session in 2021, let us begin a new unit, that is Unit 6, Section A. It's a very beautiful poem written by an American poet, Douglas Malloch. The poem titled Be the Best of Whatever You Are. Let us know more about the poet Douglas Malloch. Douglas Malloch was an American poet, was born on 5th of May 1877 in Muskegon, Michigan. Living in the center of the lumber industry meant Malloch was surrounded by forests, logging camps, and lumber yards. These simple roots were the inspiration for his poetry. He quickly became famous as a lumberman's poet. In addition to being a poet, story writer, and associate editor, he wrote the Michigan State Song. Douglas Malloch passed away on 2nd July 1938. Be the best of whatever you are is an inspirational poem penned by Douglas Malloch. The title of the poem itself reveals the meaning of the poem and its concepts. He is trying to tell us that whatever we do, we need to be the best. He has used examples from the nature to convey his message. The poet wants us to know that no job is less important and we need not be ashamed of what we are. Although we all dream of doing great deeds and being at the top, what really matters is the contribution we make to the society to make it count. We must take pride in our job and accomplish it with our best effort. Four stanzas. Let us discuss each stanza in detail. Stanza 1. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. How beautiful the lines are, how meaningful the lines are. See, the poem starts by giving examples of nature. The poet says that if you can't be a pine tree standing tall on the top of the hill, then that doesn't mean you are not worthy enough to be a part of the forest. You can always be the best scrub in the valley beside the rill or rivulet. What do you mean by the term rill or rivulet? That means a small brook or stream, making the valley beautiful. The tall pine trees may form large forests, but without scrub by the side of the stream, the valley would lose its charm. So at least be the best scrub if not a pine tree. He is trying to say that be the best employee if you can't be the boss. He further adds that if we can't be as strong as a tree, then at least be a bush. Stanza 2. If you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass and some highway happier make. If you can't be a muskie, then just be a bass, but the liveliest bass in the lake. Here, the poet again says that if we can't be a bush, then be a tuft of grass because a bit of grass along the highways can also make it prettier and happier. He then moves to another aspects of nature to prove his point. He says that if you can't be a muskie, It's a common name of masculine fish, a relatively uncommon and rare freshwater fish native to North America. Then be a bass is an edible fish, but the liveliest bass in the lake. The muskie may be precious and hard to catch, but they are in favorite of the locals. See how beautifully he has explained. The poet says that it is not easy to be a bush. Then you can be a tuft of grass because a bit of grass along the highways can also make it prettier and happier to the eyes of the people. Then he moves to another aspects of nature, that is freshwater fish. Here he compares muskie, it's a very large freshwater fish, with bass, it's an edible fish but small in size. And he is telling us if you can't be a muskie, needn't worry, you can be a bass, but you must be the liveliest bass in the lake. Stanza 3. We can't all be captains. We have got big crew. There is something for all of us here. There is big work to do and there is lesser to do. And the task we must do is the near. Douglas Malloy wants us to be happy and optimistic. He says that if we can't be the captain of the ship, we can be the crew. A captain alone can't sail through the seas. He wants us to know that there is always something for us and we should be proud whatever we are. He explains that in this society, every work has its own importance and no work is to be ashamed of. What would happen if everyone wants to be a doctor or a businessman? Who would look after the small jobs of the society? There would be no one to keep our roads clean. There would be no one to mend our shoes. So he explains that we should do the task which is at hand rather than running towards bigger tasks as every job needs to be completed. Stanza 4. If you can't be a highway, then just be a train. If you can't be the sun, then be a star. It isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. In the last stanza, he further adds that if we can't be a highway, we can always be a narrow pathway. Some of the most beautiful parts of the nature are led by trails, not by highways. He further adds that if we can't be the gigantic sun, we should just be a twinkling star. He says that size doesn't matter. Your success will depend only on how good you are at it and if you are making noticeable contribution to the society. The poet concludes the poem reiterating that what matters is whether you are the best in your field. Let us discuss about the figures of speech used in the poem be the best of whatever you are. Too many figures of speech are used in this poem. Let us discuss the major ones. The first one, simile. Simile is a figure of speech that compares two different things in an interesting way. Example, she is as innocent as an angel. So she is compared to an angel, and in simile, we are using the words like, as, etc. Let us see the second figure of speech, that is metaphor. Metaphor is also using for showing comparison only. But unlike simile, a metaphor is a figure of speech that is used to make a comparison between two things that are not alike but do have something in common. See the example. Her tears were a river flowing down her cheeks. Then comes repetition. It is a literary device used in poetry when words or phrases are repeated to create rhythm. See the example. There is big work to do and there is lesser to do and the task we must do is the near. Here the words repeating are underlined there. Then comes alliteration. It is the repetition of the same consonant sound across the start of several words in a line of text. The alliteration, the words should flow in quick succession. See the example. If you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass. B sound is repeatedly used here. So the literary device or the figure of speech is alliteration. I hope the literary devices or figures of speech are very clear to you all. Here you have an exercise taken from your course book. Do the exercise in your textbook. Here you have the answers. Kindly check your answers. With this, we have come to the end of today's session. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Thank you, my dear children. Wishing you all a wonderful day ahead.